Perfect.
Okay, so we're recording because despite my inability to record Jimmy's Adventures as Benny Best, I have, in writing, I have recorded them in video means, by video means. So, there we go. So we got Jimmy playing Benny, and Speed, Josh Absher, Aaron playing somebody.
And as per tradition, work update. New hires are coming along. Corporate's really pushing an in-office class, so we'll see how that shakes out. They're offering a huge sign-on bonus for the in-office class.
Wow. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's like a $5,000 sign-on bonus.
Well, that is pretty big. My work, let's see,
What would your commute be? How many hours a day would it cost you?
to get to Louisville, that'd be like 3 hours. I was saying my work is, I've been doing road records, so it's exciting stuff. You look it up, you say, oh, look, there's the right of way, write some notes down, move along. Double check everything because guys in the 1800s, between 1800 and now, a lot of confusion can get in about what road is what. And a lot of people during that time, there were a lot of hands, a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
No cars.
All right.
Or only a few.
So,
dude, Lhasa is crazy.
In 1800, there were no cars.
Yes. They should have planned better.
They should have known. So Benny Best, episode 5, maybe? Question mark? I don't know what we're on.
I didn't know this. Lhasa, like the pictures of Lhasa are like a Tibet. There's 900,000 people in there.
Yeah, here's the picture I just sent. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Way up in the mountains. So you, Benny had a bit of a struggle. Why don't you recap it for us?
Okay. We recovered from our injuries, having avoided the Soviet Union, and was sheltered by a family of ranchers, who had understood Benny to be dying because he had taken so much radiation damage.
It was lithium.
Normal healing factor was suppressed.
Yeah.
And it took like several weeks to recover. And a lot of rolls that led to like brain damage and
he almost died.
memory loss. Yeah. Hey, did any of that memory loss, is that permanent, or did it come back when the healing?
It all came back because healing factors are magic.
Cool.
Because,
Great.
I mean, if it can rebuild your brain and not reduce you to an infant, why not fix your memory?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, just like a backup.
Yep.
So, so it came down to like the final rolls though, to see whether he was gonna make it. And he did, and he recovered. And so then we made our way from northern Mongolia down to Tibet.
Which took like 3 weeks.
And having been scarred from engaging with the Soviet system, Benny's been avoiding like all contact, all unnecessary contact. He had a horse cross the desert, and he's made his way.
Yeah, the horse did not do so good by the end of it. He had to carry it.
But he found a safe place. He found a safe place for him, and he's made his way to Tibet on foot in a really miserable, in the middle of winter. Basically surviving on food and forage.
You have rocks that he smacked, and birds he killed with rocks.
And maybe an endangered bear.
Yeah. some of those deers, the endangered deer species. And that's where we are.
Yeah.
He's in Tibet now. And
Nice.
the episode before that, he escaped from the Soviets who came after him on the Trans-Siberian because he left them a note saying he was leaving and told him to go the different way. And then the dream walker, dream chaser person waited till he was asleep and popped up next to him. So.
Or tried to.
Oh yeah, how did that go with the tracker special?
That's how he died. He killed himself and then put a big rock on his chest. Well, he put a big rock on his chest.
I Terminator 2'd myself into a radioactive cesspool.
Yeah, he jumped in a lithium waste mine pool and buried himself in under rubble so that he could stay down there and drown. And he did. He drowned, and then he got severe lithium poisoning, and that leads us into the episode he just told you about. That's how he escaped. He killed himself.
Brilliant. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, would do again.
Expected it.
Yeah, nobody looked in the lithium waste pit.
Yeah.
I can't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, it was genius. And so, the Soviets, Benny Best is now a super spy. Extraordinaire. Escaped from a seemingly impossible.
Yeah, because
situation.
they had a number of people on him. They had robots, and we even pulled in one of the big name supervillains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you were in Lhasa. You were on the hunt for Tibetan monasteries to search for Eastern wisdom in, classic Marvel fashion. You need the scars, the mental scars, healed, and the wisdom of wise men, much like Doctor Strange with his hands. Instead, you've come here to fortify your mind, and as such, you are looking for a Tibetan monastery.
Yep. Yeah, and I think. We gotta get some music though. There's so many registrations that happen in China.
There you guys go.
Now, just a question about regeneration. Kid Benny Best, does he even technically need to eat, or can he just regenerate stuff magically?
No, he will starve to death. And then I don't know what happens if you starve to death. You might be just dead.
I mean, the same thing if I get radioactive. Like, somebody will have to feed me and eat intravenously, right?
I would guess.
But,
Before
so
you.
Go into a
But if you were
comatose
like
state.
really bad, I mean, I guess you could come back from it. I don't know how you would come back from starvation.
No, I bet it's a loophole that would kill him, right? Because
Probably.
cells need to be sustained. Comic books.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I think it would be a very long process. I think starvation would be like a longer period for Benny.
Yeah. So, in the interest of not starving, I think at the moment, Betty's like found a cave, right? Like outside of Lhasa.
Okay.
He's like squatting in the rural outskirts of the mountains. Like you can see the giant city. Like it's big. But I think I'm going to do an old trick that I learned. Since Benny knows that he's not going to be able to actually make it through that city as a foreigner.
And you've noticed that most of the people here don't seem to speak Chinese.
Yeah. Sure. I think it's Benny, like, you know, in his, like, soaked, in his, like, winter gear, having been procured, like his Mongolian winter coat clothing, right?
Yeah, well, remember, as we said before, that stuff's pretty ragged at this point.
Yeah, it's like the coat and nothing else.
Yeah, he's got like shorts now, and he's got a like coat, but it's like a 3/4 length sleeve, and the elbows have been like cut out.
Yeah. Sure.
That's what happens when you walk 2,000 miles in 20 days through blizzards and the desert.
And I think it's like telepathy stunts, right? I think it is casting his mind out telepathically to look for someone, like, to sense somebody who seems wise. I think he has no idea, right? But it worked for this hunter that he found, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are a couple of famous monasteries that are probably visible, right? So I think, like,
Yeah,
it's not even...
if Benny does that, he's just gonna get the psychic mind aneurysm, because unlike where he was in northern Mongolia, southeast Russia, where it's a population of 20, now he's gonna get like 900,000 voices in his brain.
Yeah. I think therefore it needs to be targeted specifically to a specific place, right?
Yeah, he's not a very strong telepath, right? So
Remarkable, yeah.
yeah, he's not. That's not very strong. It's notable telepath. It's like you're a telepath, but you're like entry level in the Marvel super. You're able to be a superhero telepath. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You're
I understand.
You've beaten the people that are like probably using their powers to be like fortune tellers.
Yeah. Oh man, and I'm so close to like Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, somewhere that'll actually deport me.
That won't deport you. You mean?
No, that will deport me instead of jailing me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They probably won't even care over there.
What?
I don't think Bhutan or Nepal are in a position to really be too concerned about people sneaking into their borders.
Yeah.
Especially if you cross the Himalayas.
Yeah. But there are trains from Lhasa that go that way, right? I'm assuming there is, because there has to be some kind of transportation, or is it a bus lane?
I don't think I'm not sure there would be either.
Like they go to India or something?
Yeah, I don't think there would be either, probably.
Okay. There is a railway.
Yeah, you can't get from Lhasa to the capital of Bhutan. I think that's the capital, Thimphu. And Nepal.
Oh yeah, it's the last stop. It goes from Beijing to Lhasa.
Yeah.
Got it. So I'll have to get a bus or something, right?
I don't think there'd be anything that crosses there. I mean, there's a couple roads, but China's not on that great terms with their neighbors, you know what I mean? So this would be another illegal border crossing almost.
Yeah.
Certainly.
But come on. What is that to Benny at this point?
Well, then yeah, you're good to go. There's no buses that go down there either. I can't imagine there would be.
It looks like it's a 19-hour bus ride for $76 to get to Kathmandu, Nepal, by bus.
I can't find a
So-
transit trip from Lhasa
Here,
to
I think
Kathmandu.
it's a private car, like a tourism company that's trying to sell you this.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. I see. You want to drive there, they recommend you go all the way down and into Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
Okay.
There's no way Benny could manage any of this right now. One, he has no access to a phone or cell phone or anything that would get him in, and he has no paperwork that would get him in contact with a travel agency. And he can't speak any of the languages. He could get himself a map and and sneak across the Himalayas if he wanted to, but I think that's. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you can get one apparently, bus, car, and plane. So, Jimmy. Speed, you still there?
I'm still here. I can hear you.
Can you hear Jimmy?
If Jimmy's talking, no. I got nothing.
I can't do anything with him either.
Well, he has to take that bus from Lhasa to Kathmandu, so he'll be a little while.
It could be a minute, yeah. Oh, he said he's lost internet. So while he is gone, I will message you.
You got it. On Facebook or in the
Discord.
Discord chat?
Not on the chat, in the private chat.
Gotcha.
Okay. You got that? Speed?
Yep, got it.
You can figure out whatever you think that's going to lead to, but we got to establish a little bit. It's been Benny's character development arc, so we'll see how that goes, and then we got to set up the big finale of that. See what for him to present to us his lesson of what he's learned from his travels, you know.
You got it. I'm gonna tell him about a dream I had where he turned evil.
Yeah. I wonder if he knows about that. He was... yeah, we messaged in the Facebook group, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I don't know if he's read the full summary, though.
I have a play-by-post response for him to... or for Jordan to do. For me to do for Jordan. Hey, you're back.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay, let's do this.
Yep. Sorry for the scuffed internet.
That's okay.
I had to reset. Sneaking into Lhasa, right?
Yep.
And going to one of the famous monasteries or temples, right? Doing it and looking like a peasant. It's actually probably not that hard.
Do you want to go to one in Lhasa, or do you want to go to one of them to the south in the mountains?
South in the mountains, of course.
Okay. So I'm seeing one here on the map, which seems like, because I was just like kind of flipping through it, and I think Benny could probably just, you know...
hit the larger city, right?
Yeah, look around and see where, get a copy of the map, and then, so here's one, and I was thinking about that one. See where it is? Oh, I blocked it with my pop-up. It's right under the pop-up.
Yeah, that's perfect, right? Yeah.
Doesn't have a picture, sadly, so... But we'll stick with that one, and we will, Oh, here's some.
Namuzu.
Looks very familiar to me. You know, Buddhist temples. They have a pretty uniform appearance, despite where you go. The outside looks quite different, or quite unique.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you wander south and skip the town. A day later, having trekked through the mountainsides and avoiding the valleys, you come across this temple gates. It leads higher up onto the mountains, and we see up in front of you a large temple grounds surrounded by a set of walls and a main building in all of its splendor and color in front of you. You hear the mantras of monks practicing, and the place seems to be pretty much out of the beaten path, and as such there is only more or less only local traffic, it would seem.
Yeah.
And there is traffic. It's, you know, a dozen locals coming here for guidance or prayers for the dead from the monks.
In 2012, the temple had 25 monks.
Perfect.
So
you passed a small town at the bottom of here that seems to be supporting the temple and related to it. Probably 10,000 people, maybe.
Yeah. And I think Benny just, you know, joins the. Is it like is there a line for petitioners, or?
Not really. People just are kind of walking up the steps. Nobody really gives you a second glance. there is a small town at the very foot of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
But the temple is up a road and then up a long path of stairs from those gates.
Sure. So then I'm walking up. I'm walking up to it. I'm keeping my hood up to like disguise that, I'm Caucasian
Yeah.
and very smelly and disheveled.
Yeah.
But I'm just keeping my distance from everybody and approaching.
Okay, you make your way up to the top, and you hear a bustling of noise and a break in the sound of prayers, or what you believe to be prayers. And then there is a few of the petitioners who go to a large building, and then you see many monks come out onto the grounds. They're speaking, but you don't understand them.
Yeah, sure. And I think Betty will patiently wait his turn, right?
You follow the main group.
And it seems like that's the place to go if you have petitions, right?
You have no idea, but it does seem like these people who are not dressed like monks are going into this other building.
Gotcha.
You remember you look at the letters and they look like nothing you've ever seen.
Sure.
And they're speaking a language that has of no way familiar to you in any way.
Yep. So I think it's just basically following and then walking up to a monk, right, or whoever, leaning closely and telepathically saying, "Excuse me, I have a petition. Where should I approach? Where should I go? Should I follow the rest of the people?"
Okay. Roll personality. Since you're using your telepathy.
Yep. But I am going forward in a way that
You're pretty smelly and bad looking right now. That won't affect you with the monks, but your appeal.
Yeah, but that's actually helping me because I don't think I have close examination, so people could just assume that I'm whispering, right?
Yeah, no. Nobody would assume you're whispering. It's telepathy.
Big money.
They hear it in their minds.
Hang on. Oh, that's because I rolled in the wrong channel. No, but hey! Wow! Wow! That is a red.
Nice. So he looks at you and he hears your voice in his brain and he looks shocked for a second. And he looks like he's about to be taken aback and he looks at you up and down and his face gets a bit of pity on it and he says, "Sir, if you're looking for prayers for your dead loved one, then this is the place to go."
I see. I could probably use that, but mostly I need wisdom. And a meal, if you have it. I haven't had many. I haven't had many vegetables lately.
He shakes his head and he says, "I understand. Please follow me." And he takes you over towards kitchen area.
My name is Benny, by the way.
He says, "Very unusual name. sir?
Yeah, I have traveled a long way. Actually, I have journeyed across the world, if you could believe it.
He nods his head and he says, "Here's the dining hall. Please take a seat. I'll get you something."
Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, then he just sits.
Yeah, he comes back a little bit ways later, and he drops off like some soup and some vegetables and some sort of mountain vegetable.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What was your name? Sir?
Sorry, I had to look up what they eat at a Tibetan monastery.
Yeah,
I realized I had no idea what that would be like.
that's pretty far removed from our experience, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, barley soup.
Barley soup, yak butter, some other dairy products, beans, noodle soup, stir-fried or steamed vegetable dishes. Okay, so yeah, you got some beans, you got some barley soup,
Yeah,
and you got some butter tea.
it's gotta be the best meal that Penny's had ever tasted, right?
Uh,
What he's been doing on.
Yeah, you are having flashbacks to all the milk products that you had in Mongolia again,
Yeah.
as you were having butter tea.
Sure. Sorry, what was your name, sir?
My name is Tenzing.
Tenzing. And tell me, could you,
Sorry, sir. Do you have to speak this way? It's making me uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I do not speak the language.
He looks sadder.
So,
He's like, oh, he pats you on the shoulder, like in pity.
yeah, I was born with this, I developed this supplement.
But you know, it's like this. It's like reaching way out.
Tell me, I guess I had thought this might be a place of wisdom. I've been seeking guidance throughout the world as to what I should do. Is there such a person here, or should I go somewhere else? Do you have anyone you would recommend me to?
You, if you wish to learn and understand the nature of things, then the best way to go about it, and you are welcome to do so, would be to engage with and debate with fellow monks. However, you would find that many are a bit uncomfortable with the feelings of someone probing around within their minds, and I do not know how everyone else would take it.
I see. Well, if you could teach me, I think I could learn the language. I have a quick study.
He says, certainly I think we could do so, or someone may be able to. I have many other duties, but we could find someone. You're welcome to stay as long as you need.
I think I would like that. I will try not to disturb anyone with my abilities. I'll just stay quiet. This really is good tea. As you can see, I don't have very much to offer in the way of payment, but I am a hard worker if there's chores to be done.
There will be work to be done as long as you stay here, but don't worry about any payment. The money and such things are but an impermanence.
Like sips tea. Okay. I thank you, Bill, for your kindness.
No,
and I think Benny, like, yeah, isn't joking. He's just really happy to be, like, sitting in a chair in, like, a human, like, not in the wild anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm. You can take over his mind.
Yeah. I could. You're right, I could always just do crimes.
Get what you want. Teach me your ways. Tell me everything you know.
But as it is, how much karma is it for me to learn a language? I know I have to start rolling, right?
It's another 100. If you don't want to, you could talk to other people, but you'll basically just be kind of dependent on a personality roll.
Yeah. Which in the long run could cost more karma.
Maybe, yeah.
Very funny that Betty's gonna learn. They're speaking Tibet. Is there a specific language for Tibet?
Tibetan.
In China, or is this Chinese?
Tibetan.
Yeah.
They are speaking the Lhasa dialect of Tibetan, which is called Standard Tibetan.
Yeah, okay.
Written with the Tibetan script.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I think Betty's actual language interest is getting the better of him, because this is such an unusual language. It's so stupid to spend the karma on this, but I think it's very fun that he speaks Tibetan for some reason.
I don't think it is, because otherwise this whole end of your
doesn't work.
Yeah, otherwise the end of the trip is going to be difficult. I mean, because we have previously established everybody in this world at this point would know what mind control is and telepathy, and therefore I think it's a source of pretty much constant fear in a way. And I mean, superheroes are kind of different. They're more used to resisting it and stuff, but
yeah.
And
it's just one person leaking to me.
Yeah.
Like saying, "Oh, that telepath up in the monastery."
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
But you could just be. I mean, he was probably thinking you were some sort of poor mutant that lost his voice and gained telepathic powers.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
make a reason roll.
All right.
Because you know a lot of languages now. So.
Yep. Yeah.
You need a green.
So I don't learn it on the first day.
No. This is this is like can you learn the language?
Okay. So it's one roll, and can I modify that roll with karma?
Yes, that's why I told you need a green.
Okay, got it.
So basically, I'm putting a charge to it. That way, you don't learn an infinite amount of languages. Yeah. And then, and the more languages you learn, the harder it's gonna get until it's impossible.
Yep. Okay. As it is 30 karma on top, so 130. So half my karma. And
Counterpoint, the more languages you know, the more languages it's actually easier to learn.
Yeah, that's true, but when you have fantasy instant learning abilities that just cost karma, And
we were talking about languages, the differences between languages the talent versus languages the superpower.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think, if you don't, it is easier to learn it the more you know. That's what everybody always says. But there also seems to be an upper limit of how many languages people learn. You know what I mean? Seems to be in like the tens or even maybe 20. And Benny already has learned like 7 in like the past like 4 weeks.
This is language number 6. So watch out, world. He can go to one of those polyglot meetups.
Yeah, definitely. You'll impress a lot of people with your ability, with your Tibetan, which is known by 2 million people in the world.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, if you let me, I think it's just staying in a monastery and learning Tibetan.
Okay.
Doing a quick study.
Well, you are quite fast at learning it, but it does take you a week.
Yeah.
By the end of the week, you're fluent in Tibetan. You seem to be fairly fluent. Right? You still make some slip-ups, but you're foreign language speaker fluent. So.
Yeah. Tenzin, I thank you so much. Again, the tea and all the teachings of the language has been helpful.
He looks at you and he smiles. He smiles at you. You're like wearing some monastery robes and you're clean now. And did you shave your head? They offer to give you a haircut.
Sure.
You got a bald head, freshly shaven. He smiles at you and he says, "Yes, you've done it quite impressive, Benny. I would not have expected you to learn it so quickly and so well. And you've been a great help. Thank you for chasing those deer out of our gardens."
Yes. It is the least I could do, really.
And as you guys are walking up into the open floor of the open space below the monastery, he says, "So, Benny, what have you thought about the teachings that you've learned so far? I understand that many of the monks have talked to you about the impermanence of life, how everything will comes and it goes in its own time, and they think that you are having some trouble with the acceptance of the necessity of the inevitable end of all things."
Well, it's just. Can I imagine? Can I propose a scenario to you, a thought experiment? Suppose that you knew of a city that was permanent, was eternal even, and that every night you heard the city off in the distance, paragons of virtue. They teach this in Greece, so that I was told, and it just seems like impermanence is sort of settling or surrendering.
Tending says, "Yes, this is. Some have mentioned you said such a thing before. It is difficult to comprehend, but I am certain that if I know of one thing at all, it is that all things meet death at some point, and that instead of fleeing from it, we should accept that it will come. That it will come in our time."
I think it's like.
And
there's like a pause, and then it's like.
As you pause for that, Tending looks over you and he says, unrelated, or perhaps so, some of the monks have mentioned having uh, bad feelings of sorts around you, Mr. Vest.
Yeah, did she tell you to say that last thing?
He looks at you a bit confused. He's like, "Who?"
Well, never mind.
This is just the teachings of the Buddha.
I see. That's good. He probably, was in the same circles anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, death is but a part of the cycle, Benny.
Yeah. She'd be flattered if you said that, I suppose.
He looks at you a little bit confused again.
But tell me,
Are you uncertain about this? It seems as though you are a bit fearful or reluctant to accept such a thing.
When they first told me about my
Your abilities?
my mutation. They said that it came with a great amount of power and responsibility. That I could change the world with what I've been doing. I was trained to do so. Trained that I must use my action to make the world a better place. That these were gifts that were given with that cost.
He says, that is one way. I am certain you could understand these sorts of things. But you're asking difficult questions. Vinny, it seems as though you have much on your mind, some of which you're hesitant to speak of. The Elder has wished to talk to you for recently, now knowing that you're capable of speaking. Perhaps you'd like to speak to him about these things?
I think that would be, I would be honored. Is he a person of particular wisdom?
He is the, as you would say, leader of our monastery. Gyatso.
I would speak to this person.
Okay.
And thank you again for the soup. Very, very good.
He says, and try some of these, and he puts some steamed vegetables on your, steamed beans on your plate.
Lovely, like you taught, savory, yes.
Mm-hmm. As you still eat it, you still eat it like way quicker than I think than everybody else, and they're like, and you hear some of the monks being like, he still eats like he's starving, man. and it's like you sitting across from Tenzing, but there's like a lot of people are like giving you weird looks, like they got a bad vibe from you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Benny has not demonstrated any outward superpowers beyond that first conversation with telepathy.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people would probably know that you probably, like, because, I mean, you've been here for a week, you probably got a nick, and it instantly healed, you know? You were shoveling some stuff, and you got a splinter in your hand, and the splinter popped.
But, it's all the classic, like, oh, it wasn't so bad after all, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learned the language in a week.
You learned Tibetan in a week, yeah, and you don't have any superpowers. Thanks, Swede.
Happy to help.
with no other Indic languages experience. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to go see Gyatso?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go there. He is a place up next to one of the other temples. They're kind of leveled in different areas up and down the mountain. And there's like a big tree, and there's a spot where the tree's barren, obviously. There's a spot where the snow's been cleared out. And the monk is sitting out there in his robes. You find a lot of them like endure the elements as part of their practice.
Yeah.
It's nothing extreme, like
practice, Betty supports it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he seems to be chanting some sort of difficult classical Tibetan. It's all a different language.
Yeah.
The mantra that you only understand a few of the words of.
Sure. And I sit quietly, do like the seat that's like, there's like some kind of like seat that a student takes, some posture.
In front.
Mm-hmm.
And after about an hour or so, he opens his eyes and looks at you, and he says, Benny, it's a pleasure to finally be able to speak to you. You have an amazing ability to learn.
Oh, thank you.
He smiles, and he gets up, kind of creaks a little bit, and then looks out, and he says, I wish more of the students here could learn things as quickly as you.
I was actually pretty slow where I grew up. I was actually one of the least capable students when it came to learning.
Perhaps you just hadn't found the thing that you were meant to do.
Yes, well, you've already come to the crux of my search.
Yes, I heard you have many problems here, and I feel some of it from you. You had a run-in with your end, with your death, and managed to keep yourself alive. It's I think. Well, I'm not sure if it was not yet the designated time, or if there was, or whether you were rejected it, but either way, it is interesting.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about your trip?
Yeah. And I think he does.
And he pats, he like walks over and takes the edge of his cloak and dusts the snow off one of the benches and sits down, and he pats it down next to you.
Yeah.
I
think he does.
Yeah, and like when you get to like Russia part, like fleeing across the Black Sea, one of the monks comes over and they bring you guys some tea, and
sure.
you guys drink some tea as he's listening.
And
there's very little. There's no questions asked. Just listen.
Yeah. And it's just like, because Betty's been on his best behavior and has been like, and before that was like 3 weeks of solitude in nature. So it just all like comes like pouring out of him, right?
Yeah. And they've accepted you. Nobody, even if some people are not friendly, most of them aren't very friendly. Nobody is. You're welcome. You know what I mean?
They didn't rat me out to the Chinese government.
Yeah, and they didn't. They're not doing. They're welcoming to you. Like they allow you to stay. They help you if you ask them for something. Yeah. They're polite. It's just no one seeks out your company.
Yeah, sure. And so then, not really knowing where else to go, but knowing that I had tried what was given to me and what I found in Olympus, I came here.
Hmm.
I think I'm nearly ready to go home.
Yes, I think you are. Well, I can't say what would be correct for you, Benny. I see that you have gone on a long trip in the pursuit of wisdom, and I know that many of the younger monks have shared what they have learned with you. Um, but having traveled and seen so much, you have done your own journey and learned your own wisdoms along the way, and have had more education than your time would suggest. So perhaps we should talk about a different subject. See, they speak to you about the impermanence of life and the acceptance of death. These are core subjects to our study. They are the basics. And that is because everything in this world, in this in where we exist, where we live, is subject to those rules and in time. But to grow, but our true pursuit is the growth of wisdom. To grow as a people, and to grow in our knowledge and our understanding of the world and existence. See, we here in this monastery understand a key part of existence to be the cycle of reincarnation. But to understand that growth, to pursue the wisdom that allows us to understand these truths, we practice in the ways that you have seen. Monks debate amongst themselves, we recite the mantras, we do our prayers, but sometimes we, who have studied for a long time, even practice transgressive acts, and those things can teach us the wisdom of the world. And perhaps that is what you have done so far, where your parts of your wisdom have come from. So
You mean I messed up a lot?
You have had a long journey, Benny, and now you have the knowledge that you have sought, but you have not found your truth to put that knowledge towards. Don't think of it as mistakes. They are but steps along the path that you are treading. And now what you need to do is not come and speak to someone like myself, but to think upon these subjects for yourself. And come...
I have to be my own teacher.
Yes, you have to come upon these truths yourselves. Eventually, the pursuit is an individual one. The pursuit of wisdom is an individual one.
Oh, wow. one of my earlier teachers just gave me a code and called it a day.
There is a code is good. We teach such things as well, but in the end, let me speak to you a phrase from the Hivajra Tantra.
Mm-hmm.
Those things by which evil men are bound, others turn into means and gain, thereby released from the bonds of existence. By passion the world is bound, by passion too it is released.
Penny gives a big sigh and is like, that went over my head, Elder.
Think about it, Benny. You have sought out many teachers, but it seems as though little you have sought to understand on your own. A man who can teach himself is a man who has has gained a great benefit. If you think you've come upon an answer, you can ask me. But I think you should prepare to leave by the end of the week.
I was gonna say, I think it's time to go home.
Maybe home is where you need to go. Maybe to somewhere else still. But I think your search for a teacher, perhaps you
It's
need
at an end.
perhaps you need to find an answer before you ask another question.
Yes, well. Yeah, I guess it's time to start thinking. Any idea where I can get a bus ticket?
You can use the phone down at the lobby.
Okay. I'm gonna have to work for it, So
We can find
oh,
something for you.
what?
I said we can find some. He said we can find something for you.
Okay. And I think that's it. I don't know that Betty's yeah. Honestly, I think it's I don't think Betty challenges him. I don't think it's I think it's just resignation, right? I'm yeah. And just a sense of readiness, yeah.
If you have a question, you can contact us again.
Right. You guys do have a phone, huh?
Yes.
And mail gets here too.
Yes.
That would have been so much easier.
He wipes off his knees. He goes, "It's getting cold out here, Benny. I'm an older man. Can we go inside?" And he laughs real big.
This place. Why did I walk?
As you're saying that, and you're like, "Why did I walk?" He pats you on the shoulder and he says, "I think there is a cliche used in some Western movies. It is not about the journey, but not about the destination, but the journey."
Robert.
I have no idea what you said.
Like, I ate raw bird. It took me like 3 days to start a fire.
Minnie's on the struggle bus.
But yeah, I think it's just like making his goodbyes, doing his best. If there is some like big chore that could be accomplished with super strength, he does it. Right?
Yeah, they have like a place. It's like they have a old storage shed that's like a tree had fallen through, and they were having trouble getting it. And you just like walk over there, lift it up, and throw it over to the side.
Yeah. And I think if they call something to get him out of here, he does. Also, it's like probably about 5-minute warning till Katie gets back. So.
Okay, so yeah, they get you a bus, and you get a ticket.
Yeah, is it going to Nepal? Does it go to India? Where's...
You said you wanted to head out of here, so they booked you through a tour guide place, and they will send you to Kathmandu, where you can hop on a plane.
Oh my God, Benny's gonna be a tourist in Nepal?
Yeah, you got a plane ticket from Nepal, because you contacted the Cork Academy, from the phone.
Yeah, so after all this, Benny closes out his trip by being like on a bus with other tourists.
Well, you make your way over into Lhasa, and when you do, you're waiting at the bus station with a bunch of tourists who are headed to Kathmandu, and you then see a man leap down from the building. He's like dressed in all black, and he has one of those like Chinese backswept slavers, and he leaps down and he goes, and he cuts down and lops a part of the vehicle in half, and then he grabs hold of a person out of it, and he starts shouting at the man in Chinese. The man responds in Tibetan, and he's like, "No, sir, please don't. I swear, I can give you the money."
Oh,
and he takes up the sword. He says, and like a bad Tibetan, "I don't want your money anymore."
Excuse me, sir. Is there a problem here?
1 second. As you say that, he looks over at you in disdain, and then swings his sword over top of the man, and from it, like a bolt of energy erupts, and it comes flying towards you.
Yeah, I'm charging him, right?
Okay.
I'm like already moving, right?
Roll to dodge. Okay, he swings, no two attacks. First swing shoots a bolt of energy forward. 70 gets him a... Gets him a yellow by exactly. And you got a 51, which is a green for you on your agility. It smashes into your chest for 30 points of damage, energy. It shreds your monk attire. And you kind of stumble backwards.
I still have my amazing my eternal armor.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Put that on. You've been carrying it the whole time. You put it on underneath the monk robes.
Of course.
And as it falls off to the side, your eternal armor's there.
Domino mask goes up, by the way, for sure.
Awesome. And then you see a man jump down from the side, and he goes, and he slams his arms into the man's like wearing like whitish robes, and he's got stark white hair, and he's wearing a black domino mask too. And he snacks to the man's hands, grabs the man from the swordsman's grip, and rolls past you.
Gotcha. And I'm coming up. I'm coming up to throw a punch.
Okay, do it.
Alright.
And
Let's roll.
the swordsman looks and says, Sahida, you're here again.
Oh boy. We're hot tonight, Jake. Let's do
Nice.
attacks.
Go for it.
1.
That's a white for me.
I think it's 2 greens. We'll see.
White and a white.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm an amazing fighter. I forgot about that.
Okay, with this amount of distance, you can get a charge attack in, so the first one goes up 1 rank of damage as you slam your fist into the side of his head and he stumbles backwards.
Incredible 40 then, and then 35.
And then the second one, boom, an uppercut into his chest as he stumbles backwards. He's hurt really bad. He coughs and he spits out some blood and he wipes it off the side of his face. And he says, "You're strong, foreigner. But I know the weakness.
I just respond to him in Tibetan and says,
I know the weakness of all of your kind." And he jumps over to the side and grabs a person off the street and pulls the sword to their throat.
yeah. Sure. Yep. And then it's like, you know, easy now.
As you say that, roll intuition.
I will. Uh-oh.
Okay.
That's an 8.
Yeah, you're watching the sword. It's shaking. He's like, "Huh, yeah, let me go." And he starts to back up.
Yeah, Benny's putting his hand up. He's not messing with it, but he has a couple tricks up his sleeve. But he does.
You hear
reach around.
you hear like a tapping sound. Roll intuition again. Please roll a dice value of 2 or greater.
Okay, I think we got to a green. Is that true? No, still a white.
Okay. He's backing up. He's got the sword to the throat. What do you want to do?
Benny's like circling. And at the moment, I mean, he's not making any advances, right? This is not the situation that he can do things. If it seems like the sword's gonna move, he's gonna blast him with telepathy and drop all the ranks, right?
See if he can knock him out before the sword cuts the throat.
Yeah, exactly. If he goes for the move, but he's not has learned that he's not gonna press it, right?
Yeah, that was a good lesson because he could pass out and slit the throat anyways. So he walked back towards the river, holding onto the person. There's a lot of people looking around. You see that they've loaded up the people who are on the bus, and the police are pulling into the vicinity. And then you last intuition roll. As he's right at the edge of the river.
Yeah.
He's looking all around. He's like this. And then you look up and you see because as you look, you see a shadow cross over his face, and you see that figure that he had called Sahida before up above on one of the rooftops, and he's trying to get your attention. And then and when you finally kind of glance up and he notices that the swordsman doesn't, and he goes. And then he is.
You want me to keep? Listen, it doesn't have to be this way. I have learned the ways of these people. I say in Tibetan.
He looks at you and he says,
"These are honorable people."
"What are you going on about?" And he looks. He points. He goes like this. He pulls his hand away for a second, like he's like almost gonna gesture at you. And at that, you see the man jump down from up above, really quickly, like with a powerful thing, and you see, well, powerful jump, and you see the building crash, and he looks up and he goes, "Ah, no!" And he brings the sword back to stab the person in the throat, but the man jumps down in the right time, and it pierces through him and into the, and it hits the victim on the shoulder, and they, and then the clash causes the swordsman to fall into the river.
Right. Then he's diving after the swordsman for sure. Going swimming.
Alright. Roll intuition.
Sure.
Because it's there's a lot of agricultural runoff in the river, so okay, you find the swordsman and you dive in, and he is actually basically just barely conscious. And you grab him and throw him out onto the sidewalk where you see police go, "Thank you, sir," and they like grab him and say, arresting him.
Yeah. In Tibetan, I say, "No problem," and I jump away. Jump away.
As you start to you start to leap up, you see the guy waving over here, and then you see him put his hand down on the wounded civilian. His shoulder's still bleeding, and he like waves at you, and then you see like a glow of gold energy come from his hand, and the wounded civilian healed.
Oh.
Somebody with healing, that's BS.
Wow. Yeah, and like Benny will say, like reach out to empathy and said, "Thank you for doing that. I would have had to give him stitches."
He says to you telepathically in response, not through the link, I assume.
Yeah.
He says, "Sir, are you really certain you have to go?" And then you hear like a count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now down 1, 1, 2. Like he's like thinking out loud, and then the guy's head kind of twitches back and forth a couple times, looking around, like he's nervous.
Well, I think I'll start a lot of trouble if I stay. But besides, you seem to have a handle on the crime on this town.
He says, well, I mean, I was just, I haven't seen very many superheroes over into this area. I was wondering if I could, you had a minute.
I see the bus driving away. Well,
yeah.
You know, I was gonna catch yeah, I can stay.
I'll meet you up on the rooftops in a second. It'll maybe like 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and so I mean, I'll go up to the rooftops. So these police are not like Chinese are not state police, right?
That was exactly what I was gonna say. The police you see do not seem to be they seem to be locals of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Tibetan autonomous prefecture locals.
Got it. Okay. So it is.
But you also see a second, more militarized police force too.
Yes. It is a degree safer to be a vigilante here.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Well, they also register them, basically.
Yeah.
You can work for the Chinese government as a superhero police officer.
Yeah. Sure.
It's not quite the same as the Soviet system, but there's a similarity in that you work for the government.
Yeah.
Or you're not a superhero. That's your choices.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. So after a little bit, he climbs up to the rooftop. He takes like 2 or 3 jumps to get up there. Seems to be about in your range in super strength. And he's breathing heavy. He says, "Sir, I'm sorry, I had a lot of people to heal. It really takes a lot out of you."
There were more people?
Where the guy the car got chopped in half. He got pretty hurt up when he hit the ground.
Wow. Yeah.
He says,
you did good work there.
I'm Sahida, and as he does that, he's like looking around, a lot, and he reaches out and he like shakes your hand, and he holds it for like a couple seconds too long, but it was like a very specific number of shakes. Seems like there's 5 there as he goes up and down.
Benny. Hey, that number. It's not like an incantation or anything, right? It's not.
What? An incantation? And he like freaks out a little bit and he backs away from the roof corner. He says,
No, I just mean.
Is that a sorcerer here again? What was his name? Oh God, he rubs his ribs, and he goes, 1 second, I need to sit down. As he starts to breathe really heavy.
You doing all right?
No, I don't think I'm doing very good at all these days. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What's going on?
Well, I mean, I got stabbed well, no, it was crystals, wasn't it? It was magic crystals. As his eyes, they kind of went right through my chest, man. That was bad.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah. Listen, I've had some chest wounds before. They are a pain.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, and then that swordsman, he got me a couple months ago, and then the police are, they want me arrested.
Yeah.
So, because I'm not registered.
Sure.
Sure. Sorry, I'm making you uncomfortable. I apologize. I'm just.
No, it takes a lot to make me uncomfortable, honestly. That's usually the reverse order, so I like your energy.
Thanks. I think. I'm just, it's a little nerve-wracking. You seemed really calm. I was just wondering how you did it. What keeps you going? Because as he like looks around a second and he ducks. He goes, wait, get down. And he pulls you over and hides behind one of the rooftops. He's like, that's one of the drones. No, it was a bird. Never mind. Okay, we're okay. Sometimes the police have the drones.
Be careful with this stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe pings it with telepathy just to make sure it has a mind.
Yeah, it's caw. It was a crow.
Yeah. Actually, that's pretty good eating.
I never had one.
Why? What makes me do it?
Yeah, I'm having some second thoughts. I've been doing this for a couple years now, and then the evil sorcerer and the swordsman and the monster from the river and the mountain guy with the mass murdering axe guy, and then when your girlfriend gets chopped up.
I'm sorry about that one.
Yeah, they feel like there could be a better way, maybe, and I don't run into many other superhero folks, so you seemed like you're doing pretty good. Like you just sprung right into the action. You didn't even hesitate. I had to take 5 seconds before I could get in.
I see. Yeah. Well, you want the honest truth?
Yeah. Maybe.
You got anything pressing? You got anything? Any pressing people? Any imminent danger? Any hideouts that need to get busted?
Yeah. Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, what day? Is it Tuesday? Probably.
Yeah.
Tuesdays seem busy. So do Wednesdays.
So keep that on your calendar. But what really really helped me was a vacation.
That's not the advice I was expecting.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people told me about a lot of different reasons and stuff, but if you like to do it, sometimes you just need a break.
Because I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't seem like it makes that. It doesn't seem like it makes that big of a difference. A lot of people die even when I'm here, so maybe I should take a break.
Yeah, and if your villains get overconfident while you're away, that's just gonna make them pretty easier to take down.
I mean, well, you think, I guess, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm maybe I'm as ineffective as I think I am.
Well,
Yeah.
ineffective or just impermanent, right?
I
That was a good one I learned.
okay. I could
Listen,
go
you're
visit
not
my
in
uncle
there.
in Kamartaj.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
my parents
That's
are
a
over
good
there.
start. I think you should get even further out. Travel really helps. You know, if there's a couple things that I've learned, right? So number one, actual perfection does exist. They're an alien race, and you can't be like them.
That
They live forever.
that wasn't helpful.
And also, you know,
He like suddenly
life is
jerks his
either-
head back and he says, "Do you hear that?" Okay, it's just the firefighters look at that one. Okay, continue.
Just saying, start with a break, take some time off, recuperate, and think if you really want to do this, you know? Because you got
Okay.
into this for a reason, and all that happened was some things are distracting you from that.
Well, I mean, I don't. I guess I did get into it. I don't really remember why I got into it anymore. It's been a while, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the family's kind of does this kind of stuff. So maybe it was just kind of family pressure. Because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that too. I kind of had this life expected for me, you know?
Yeah. And so you just kind of do it then? And then
No, I mean, I went along. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but I don't think it's gonna be anything that they expect.
do you huh. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to talk to somebody who's been in the business for a little while. You got a different perspective. I'm just my big question these days is like why what am I going to do with this? Like why am I still doing it? Like it just seems like it doesn't do a lot. And well, I mean, I can heal people. I mean, I do spend a lot of energy at the hospital. I mean, cancer victims, they take up a lot of it. But I mean, I can only heal like one or two people, so like a day.
Yeah.
So that doesn't do that much. So
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, I heard there was a demon up north who was, could cut you in on some extra power if you ever want to put that up.
I'm
I'm
family.
just kidding.
They definitely
I'm just
warned
kidding.
me, don't go around demons. Maybe you should talk to
Yeah.
them. You want to come with me?
Yeah, I guess if you're doing all right. I got
I mean, I asked for the advice. I should take it, right? I could use a vacation. And he like
okay.
looks around and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we're good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Sahida is my superhero name.
Yeah, my name's Benny.
Okay, that's your
Yeah.
superhero name. Sounds English.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But we're talking Tibet, right? Tibetan, or are we talking mind to mind?
I think we switched to Tibetan at some point.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're telling me your real name my name's Norbu.
No, that's my superhero name.
Oh God! Oh no! I just did it again. Oh, that's how my sister got killed. Oh, and he drops down onto the ground for a second. And he's like sitting there. And he's like, oh God.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey, is there a place we can stop with a phone?
Yeah, here. And he reaches into his pocket and takes out a cell phone.
Okay, I gotta make a quick call, and I let the Cork Academy know I'm gonna miss my flight.
They go, okay. We'll reschedule. Call.
Actually, no, that's not true. I missed my bus. I can catch up to that bus.
Let's go. We'll call us when you're in Kathmandu.
Sure. Yeah.
And you get in a car with Norbu or Sahida, who has to check the outside of the car in 5 circles, and then
Sure.
adjusts the seat. He's got an obsession, obviously.
Yeah. Yep.
and then he drives you south of town in his beat up car, and he turns off onto a dirt road and drives up into the mountains, through the snow. He's got chains on his tires and stops in front of a ruined old piece of a monastery.
Love that.
And he walks over to it, and he puts his hand up to the side of it, and he chants some words, and you hear him say, roll intuition.
Okay. That's gonna be a white.
You hear him mutter something, and you hear only one word, which is the Vishanti.
Sure.
And then a glowing portal opens, starts to form in front of him in the gates of the abandoned temple. And he looks back at you, and then he stops and he goes like this, and he goes, "Who is it?" And he looks at you for a second, and he says, "You know what? I think you need to stay here." And he pushes you backwards, and he runs over to the portal and steps through. And as he does, you look at the portal, and you see a temple in the background, a magnificent temple, massive, gold in places, and strapped to the side of some sort of pillar is Doctor Strange, and strung up by the tattered pieces of his cloak, and a man stands there cackling, as the temple burns around him, and Sahida leaps through and the portal closes behind him.
I'm jumping through behind him.
You did not get the intuition roll. As you see that goes, shuts in front of you.
Ooh. Well, that probably was useful for me to be there. Huh.
Alright, is Katie there? Do you want to take a break now?
No, she's stuck at the airport, but we can take a break.
Okay, well, we'll keep going then.
Yeah.
You hear, while you say that, you hear a voice reach out into your head.
Mm-hmm.
A familiar voice, and it sounds like Aaron. Speed. You've just picked up a familiar entity as you were flying to Kamartaj.
Benny?
Hey, Aaron. I think Dr. Strange is in trouble. I was just on my way to rescue him.
That's where Aaron's headed.
Can you show me? We can depict images through telepathy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you do a door magic? Because it seems kind of locked.
Before you finish that sentence, I appear beside you.
Yeah, I was getting a tour. I was about to get a tour, and then he kicked me out all of a sudden.
I think we'll have time to chat after we help Doctor Strange, and I grab onto you and I teleport.
You cannot teleport to Kamartaj, which is why you were flying.
Oh.
But
I pick Benny up and we fly together.
Well, Benny just said he found one of the doors, so you come over to it and you say the incantation, access team dimensional magic. You say, by the powers of the Vishanti, open the gateway to the sanctuary of Kamartaj, and the portal reappears in front of you.
All right. Benny, I step through.
Hey, really quick, Aaron. I think it'd be kind of cool. Right when this portal opens, you want a fastball special?
Let's let's get through the portal first, I say. And then I step in, but you feel yourself lift off of the ground. So he's prepared to launch once we're inside.
Okay. You two step through, and as you do, suddenly, Aaron, you are struck by bands. We'll roll them. Both of you guys are.
Alright, this isn't opposed. They just roll, right?
Yep.
Fine.
Okay. Okay. Benny and Aaron, you guys are both bound. Neither one of you are gagged. Aaron, you're blinded.
I see.
And as you do, you both step through, and the bands leap up. And he said, you look forward, and you see Doctor Strange, and he looks at you, and he's like, he tries to pull himself free. He's like, Aaron, it is one of our greatest enemies. And you look forward, and you see the figure levitating in front of Doctor Strange, and you recognize him.
Until I'm blinded, of course.
Yeah, you're right. I guess you recognize him, and then you're blinded. Here we go. I already had it. I had him open, but the picture I wanted was too small. It is Kalu, the ancient and immortal nemesis of the Ancient One. The Doctor Strange's master, and in a way, I mean, you're in of sorts, you're even your master, your master's master, you know? So.
Right. The Ancient One went on, did they die, or did they go on to become a dimensional being?
They became a dimensional entity, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So, he says, Kalu laughs, and he says, yes, it is I, Kalu, the greatest black magician the world has ever seen. And now, Strange and Aaron, I will defeat you both and end the suffering of this world, as I have promised this one of the monks of Kamartaj. And you see him gesture over to the side to Sahida. And he says, he laughs at you, Aaron, and he says, you may be wondering for what reason, for why I have come here today. And since my magic is impenetrable and unbeatable, especially by a novice of such your standards, you would need at least 400 more years. By the way, he's monologuing, Aaron, so you know what this means. So you guys can do something.
Okay.
You would need at least 400. Just type it out. You would need at least 400 more years to begin to challenge me.
Katie just got back, so I am going to go briefly, but I will be back.
Okay, we'll pause.
Hi.
If you have something you want to do, Aaron, go for it.
I forget, what are the rules? I can only try and break it with personal spells if I'm, oh wait, I just alter bones to get out of the binding.
That's the classic one.
Yeah, and then I'll have to figure out a way to unblind myself afterwards.
I think Altered Bones is like an auto break it.
Oh, and yeah, I guess because the blind is probably also a band, like, around your head.
Yeah.
Turn my head into a reverse hourglass and they just sort of fall off.
All right, actually, what's your bone alteration?
Incredible 40.
You can bone alteration of a lower rank would give you a roll to break free. But his spell is quite high rank.
So I have to roll to attempt it. I can't just.
Yeah, it's not automatic. Yeah. I know curses, right?
Well, I fail.
Really? It's it's an intensity. Oh, okay. Yeah, you failed. I was like, it's just an intensity roll. You have a +2 CS on your. It would be an ability roll. I think agility or strength, your choice. But you have a +2 CS to it, or you can use your bone alteration rank.
Yeah, I think I just fizzle that spell. He can keep monologuing, and I'll try again. Oh my god! I'm glad I'm getting these out of the way.
Let's stop there for a second. We'll wait a second before you do another one.
He's a master wizard. He has to monologue for like 20 rounds.
I know.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay, Kalu says, yes, where was I? I feel like we took a commercial break. Okay. Aaron, you definitely failed those 2 rolls, but I didn't notice. 400 years it'll take for you novices to challenge Kalu, the master of black magic, and for the rightful lord of Kamartaj. See, now with the
Benny is messaging the Hida while this is happening telepathically.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. He says, with the aid of the monk here, I shall end the suffering of all life on this earth, and they shall go as I have sworn upon my true name before I was immortal. They shall they shall have a blissful rest for all eternity. And in return, I shall be granted great power through my necromantic abilities.
That long, huh?
Huh?
That long, huh?
Oh, he's got 20 rounds of gloating. So, do you have any? Do you want to try and break your own?
What do you have to say? He says, yes, I shall use the power of the souls, Aaron, the power of their very entities. Once freed from their mortal coil, the remnants of their energies shall be drained into me from that from which their bodies once possessed.
Yeah, and so I think Benny's messaging to Hida being like, really? You fell in love with this blowhard?
He says to you, he's monologuing in a very strange way, but he swore a magical oath upon himself, of which I could verify with my abilities. It is true. This will end it, and none of us will have to go through the things that we've done before, and it will not be a
No, I mean,
it will not be a bad experience.
I heard about the way that I admired Dr. Doom. Like, I'm just gonna say though, I mean, this, I don't think this guy's got it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there's a part of you that knows that this isn't exactly how,
No, it's probably not how a lot of these people want to go, but it'll be pleasant for us all. And to be honest,
I don't think he said pleasant. I just think he said dead.
It will. He'd said it will be a blissful passing, and swore so. And Benny, it's been real hard. And I think this is my chance to at least make a lot of people feel good instead of watching them suffer in their last moments.
Yeah.
I know they're all going to be dead, but sometimes I think dead is better than what we got.
Oh man, did I used to be like this? Oh, the worst. This isn't gonna make me feel bad, huh? Hey, do you know magic?
Alright, so Aaron, what are you doing?
I bet he's gonna try to mind control this kid.
Since Aaron's alteration bone keeps failing, he's gonna try using it. Not admittance, density control self. Allegedly, if it's high enough, I can basically be non-touchable, and I'm hoping.
What's your density control?
Density control is basically like.
No, what rank is it?
Oh, 40 incredible.
You turn lighter, but the magic holds you in place still.
Oh, you won't let me use that one the same way?
No. It's higher rank than your. It's the same as Ishmael trying to phase through adamantium, is what just happened.
Oh. I was just going for flavor text instead of alteration bonus.
Okay, sure.
Okay. I was just switching it up.
Yeah, you switch it up, and you start to wiggle, and he's like, "What are you wiggling for?"
Right. I think I made it.
Okay, you can. What's that? What's the result on that? On incredible.
Is that based off of 70? Okay, incredible. That's probably yellow, but I don't have the thing up. Give me just a sec.
You at this point he's stopped his monologue. As you can tell, he's done this spiel twice, and he has raised his hands and made the incantations. And then from behind him comes two books. One, the Darkhold, the other one, the Book of the Vishanti, and from it erupt a massive amount of energy, enough that tingles your skin, Benny, and you're not even very much in touch with magic. And you see that the whole sanctuary has been embedded with runes. And then Sahida reaches into his coat and pulls out from his necklace with a key on it.
Yeah. So now's my chance.
And Aaron, what was your result?
It was a yellow.
Okay. I will let you either unbind one of your arms, or you can unblind yourself. I'll say you can do two of your arms, which will give you access to all of your spells, or you can do one of your arms, which will give you dimensional spells and unblind yourself.
You know what? I'll do the unblind in one of my arms.
Okay, do you want it to be obvious, or do you just want him to be loose and sitting there for the right moment?
Loose and sitting there for the right moment.
Okay, there we go. So you kind of turn partially visible, and you kind of shift in the familiar style. Doctor Strange, you see your density control would not be powerful enough to break free from these, but then you see Doctor Strange flick one of his wrists, and his hands do a couple symbols, and then a tendril shoots across one of those manipulation spells, and it pries itself between one of your bands and loosens it for a second, and you pull your arm loose.
Yep.
Roll a mind control versus intensity.
This key seems important, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna spend karma on this because the thing that I want.
You can't spend karma on this.
Okay. Damn. I'm gonna tell you what I want to do. I want to control him for the briefest of moments and make him eat that key.
Okay.
I want to.
This is
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Okay, you can spend karma on this. Yeah. It's an intensity check. It's an intensity check. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So 40 pushes it to the red.
You making it a red?
Yeah.
Okay. You needed a red. His psyche was way more powerful than your
Yeah.
telepathy.
Sure, but I don't need it for long, right? That's the thing. I just needed long enough to have him swallow the key and not have it for him, you know?
All right. You take over his mind for a second, and he reaches up and he starts to pull off like his hand, and then he goes and puts it in his mouth, and he go, and like he's about to swallow.
Yeah. Cool. Come on.
Benny, are you linking up to Aaron and Doctor Strange in your telepathy?
Sure.
Okay, you guys are all able to talk to each other.
Come on, swallow that key.
So he puts it into his mouth, and Kalu says, "How dare you? Are you trying to betray me?" And he looks up at him, and he's just kind of blank-eyed, and he looks over, and he says, "One of you have taken control of my newfound ally." And he starts to make a gesture, and then you see the guy go, "Stop," and he like coughs. He spits the key out as he breaks free from your mind control.
Sure. Well,
But he's still holding the key.
Huh?
Yep.
Now I guess it's your shows. I guess can I drop ranks to try to break my bonds or
No.
no?
No, your bonds are pretty much stuck unless you can figure out another way to get them loose.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I have well, I have martial arts D. Would that work? Studying? Because they're magic. All right. Well, I say I'm just gonna I'm gonna do what I do best to get in trouble. Should I go for the kid or the big guy? I asked Doctor Strange.
He's not. He's like a young man, you know. He's not really a kid, but you can call him a kid. I guess.
Yeah. Do I go for the kid or the big guy?
It seems you already have rapport with the little guy.
All right.
He says, "This is. He is one of the family of the monks here." Benny, telepathically, and he says, "He is a protector of Karmatage. He has been corrupted."
Well, no, he just needs a vacation, but we'll get to that later. I'm gonna just drop all my ranks of. If he does he have to do the handing of the key?
You don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bet on that, and I'm gonna knock him out before he can do something that he regrets. I bet he's gonna say, Hey, I'm gonna go blank for a second because I hate this. And I'm gonna drop all my ranks, and I'm gonna fire telepathy and just fry his brains.
Okay, that'll get you +3 ranks, so that'll put you up to 45 damage.
Yep.
Roll to hit. -6 to your psyche.
Yep,
Oh, we got a white.
Yeah, but who knows what I'm gonna get? It's white. For sure, right? Yeah.
So what's your normal psyche?
My normal, so the normal telepathy is remarkable 30.
No, your psyche.
So, excellent 20.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You cannot drop 6 ranks. You can only drop 2 ranks.
Okay.
Or you can only get 2 ranks. So you can only go up to incredible, which will put you at feeble.
Yeah. That's okay. Because I rolled a white and I'm bound. So,
are you going to use your... I mean, you could bump it to a green.
You know, I will. This seems important. I don't want another apocalypse arc. So I will do so.
While all that is happening, I asked Doctor Strange if he's able to free himself. I tell him that I'm mostly unbound at this point.
Doctor Strange tells you he's been heavily wounded by Kalu as he dueled him before you guys got here, and was defeated thanks to the books that he possesses.
How did he get the Book of the Vishanti? Alright.
Doctor Strange was on a vacation, like Benny suggested, and the bad guy broke into Doctor Strange's house and beat up Wong. But he took it.
Nice. Alright. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and get my other arm out of the bands if I can.
Okay. You know Benny is acting against the other person, so do you want to begin you want to act?
Sorry, what?
Benny is acting against the Sahida. Do you want to start springing into action against Kalu, who seems like he's about to do something?
Yeah.
Jake's giving us a now or never.
Yeah, I definitely will take action now.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, you've already mind controlled him. One of you've obviously already mind controlled Sahida, so it's action time.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do, Aaron?
So you said there's runes all around. The 2 books are there, but he's not holding them.
Yeah.
He's trying to get the key. Essentially, that's the current situation. All right. So I will attempt to use Old Faithful telekinesis to try and blast the ancient wizard.
Okay, so you only have one hand, right?
Right.
So we're just gonna say that will limit you to only one spell.
Okay.
No personal.
And you said I have access to universal, but
Yes, no
not
dimensional.
No dimensional. Okay.
Yep.
Old Faithful it is.
Alright. Kalu looks down at you and he sees you about to act. He sees you like focusing, Benny. And did you say you were spending karma to knock that up to a green?
I did. I spent 20 karma. Yes.
Okay. So he gets blasted for 40. Got stabbed for 30. He has 80. So that puts him at... Oh, he stops. So he just... you see him go like this and he starts to cast. And Kalu, and then a shield starts to appear around Sahida's head. Like a purple glowing bell of some sort that's visible. And then it starts to fade away. And then suddenly... Boom! A gigantic blast of energy sends him smacking through 4 of the buildings and destroying the pillar that Doctor Strange is on. As Aaron, you look over to the side and Aaron's putting down one of his hands that is freed from the bands.
The old bait and switch, huh?
Okay.
What is Benny Best doing? Keep your eyes off of Aaron.
He has to make a. I think with bands he has to make a.
Can Benny even be bands without magic? Like I thought that was a wizard thing.
No, everybody can be bands. It's even worse for non-wizards because they can't break free of it easily. All right, so he succeeds on keeping the bands up on Aaron. And he critically succeeds on keeping the bands up on Benny. As you look over, and then whoosh, there's a blast of wind, and Doctor Strange is pulling himself up. Is he like, ugh, as where he has been bound to that pillar has been shattered. He's pulling himself up, and he says, "How dare you destroy the sacred hall of Kamartaj?" And then Kalu flies out, looking a bit battered, because you did 70, right?
Yeah, I deal 70.
He looks a little bit battered between you and the fight with Doctor Strange already. But he's still doing okay.
So wait, he's saying I destroyed the
No. He's blaming this all on Kalu. And Doctor Strange says, "I shall not allow this to go to pass. You shall be defeated here by the hands of Doctor Strange," as he flies up into the air.
Can can I claim the Book of the Vishanti? Is that kosher?
As you guys, you're like looking at Benny, like asking him that question, I guess. You see Kalu go like this,
evil psyche
and-
at the moment, so
and a gigantic circle appears, and out from it comes a burst of demons. They're like bluish green figures who are like leaping forward, and they look like men.
Cowman?
Yeah.
Is this from that level of Diablo?
No, they look like this.
Oh, Minotaurs. Gotcha.
Well, that Minotaurs aren't usually green, so.
Mhm.
All right.
They could be.
So they
There's
leap
no-
out and they lower their heads and they come rushing at you. And he says, "Get them! Claim the key for me as I slay this imposter who claims to be the Sorcerer Supreme." And they are going to, they just batter into you. Both of you. And they hit you for 50 points of damage each.
Sure.
Okay.
You can't dodge.
Because you're
Oh.
bound.
You're banned.
But I thought I only had one band on.
No, your legs are bound and one of your arms are bound. You have left arm free and you can see them coming.
Okay, but I just bounce around because my shield.
Yeah, you just go boom as one of them hits you with their horns. Benny, however, you're not so lucky as a horn pierces into your kidney.
Yeah. Just like gourd.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like I'm on the top of its horns, right?
Yeah, it's like trying to shake you loose.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Alright, let's see if that breaks it.
Oh yeah, does their damage break the bands?
That's
at
why
all?
I'm looking. Bands have a material rank that is equal to the caster's psyche rank. Normal attacks will not affect bands. Yeah, so no. They're still there.
So demon attacks are not normal. Got it.
They are normal. It's physical
Are
normal
normal.
damage, so. The horn stabs right through you and the bands stay there.
All right. So is it our turn?
Yep.
I shuffle and make my feet point a specific direction towards one of the green men, and then I use my telekinesis to blast off my feet bands.
Telekinesis won't affect it.
Oh right. I use
Eldritch Crystals?
Eldritch crystals. Yeah.
Okay. What's the strength of your Eldritch Crystals?
Amazing.
Okay.
Oh.
It's going to be hard to break it.
Yeah, I figured. But also, I've wasted 3 turns trying to get out of 2, so...
You could, you can always spend karma. It's an intensity roll. So.
Okay, yeah, I'll do Alteration Bone again. I
Oh,
don't
nice.
think any-
No, I was saying you can spend karma and break it with Eldritch Crystals. But, yeah, Alteration Bone works too. So you collapse your bones as you're bouncing around, and you hit the wall, and you see 2 more of them leap out of the portal. It seems to be like a permanent thing. And then you alter your bones and do a backflip out of the bands as they snapshot and disappear behind you.
Cool.
You can break Benny's bands too by blasting them. It won't hurt him unless you. And tell me that you don't care if he takes collateral damage. If you drop ranks, for sure Benny will get hurt too. But that would make it easier to break him.
I'm doing fine. I got him right where I want him.
Alright, what are you doing, Benny?
Focus. Me. So I'm getting actively gored by a Minotaur demon, Doctor Strange, and
Kalu.
the bad guy are duking it out.
So here's the
And
order.
One is
You both went silent.
There's the order.
Yeah. Yep, Zahida's about to go. He has the key, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And he has a shield around himself now, right?
Some sort of mental shield.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. And I'm trapped. So, I think the thing I have to do is, drop all my psyche ranks again, and fire a telepathy bolt up at Kalu.
At the bad guy?
Yeah, at Kalu. Because Sahida's not going to be stopped.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, because, I mean, you could even, if you get lucky, he could drop the bands.
Yeah, and I can't dodge while I'm in the bands, so there's no benefit for dropping ranks.
Okay, roll it.
Here we go.
Wow. Clutch. That's a yellow, right?
Yeah.
At Feeble? Well, he got a green on Spectacular. So, you blast him and he goes, ah, and he stops for a second, and Doctor Strange says, that pause shall be your undoing! And he looks over and he winces as he's taking some damage from that.
Your own size, I shout from the bands. I know Tibet. Come on!
And he looks over at you and he goes, "Ugh," and he tries to hold on for a second. You see the bands tighten for a second, and then they go poof, and they break and they disappear.
Huzzah!
And
You
you see Sahida run over and he stabs it into the ground next to the pillar and he turns the key and he says, "This is for the best, Benny."
Yeah, sure. Got it, but he hasn't opened to the door. He's just
No, the whatever happens, all the runes light up, and Kalu says, "Well done." And he is going to assault Doctor Strange and try to push him back with a slam. Okay, so 72 versus 47. He gets a yellow versus Doctor Strange's green. He blasts Doctor Strange. He goes flying backwards as his barriers rip apart. And then two more blasts strike forward from each of the books. And as they strike against Doctor Strange, he drops down to the ground. He's holding his arm. He's like, "Ugh, my wounds, they open again." And he's on one knee as Kalu lands down and he walks over in front of all the runes in this big opening portal and he says, "Good. Well done. You shall get your reward, Sahida, and all of these people on this world will no longer have to suffer upon as victims upon from their fellow man." And as he does so, he raises his hand and he goes, a massive amount of magical energy forms in his hand, and the two books shoot up above it, and they start to blast down, and then you see, "Not today, villain," as Doctor Strange raises up, and he says, "I'm not dead yet," and he blasts Kalu. He's going to spend all of the karma. He gets a green.
Sure.
And he blasts Kalu in the head. He stumbles backwards. Okay. That energy ball's there. Kalub had to blast Doctor Strange to get over here last time because he was able to stun him or slam him.
Yeah.
So next round, if he's not out unconscious, he will be able to do whatever he was trying to do.
Yep.
And Sahida moves to block.
Okay. Here's a question.
No, wait. Sahida will put his, because all he did was twist the key. He puts his hands on Kalu and heals him of some of his injuries.
Okay.
And
what
then
happens if we get the key out of that lock?
and then he moves to block like he was going to before. So,
Sure.
which is just be in your way. You don't know. Aaron can tell you when you ask the question. Aaron knows that the door is open. It will not shut unless you relock the door, which will require a spell.
Right. Okay, here we go. Aaron goes first, so.
Yep.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna roll for 2 spells. I get them. And, so they're both grouped up, right?
Sort
They're
of.
side by side.
Sahita is in front to try to absorb any blows and block the path.
But yeah, so they're grouped together.
Alright, I am going to drop all of my ranks, and I'm going to use a telekinetic explosion.
Did you drop ranks last round?
I did not.
No.
Okay.
Benny did, but
Okay.
Aaron did not.
So, for spectacular, up 3 ranks. Would put me at unearthly, right? 100?
Spectacular up 3 ranks would put you monstrous unearthly 125.
Alright, so yeah. And it's gonna be an explosion on the spot where the key is, essentially. So where they are both.
Okay. You will probably kill Sahita.
I see,
I'm just letting you know because he is barely hanging on right now. And 125 points of damage will probably just explode him.
oh, can I make it non-lethal?
If the Hulk punches you with all of his strength non-lethally when you're at 1 hit point, I mean...
Will he die if I do a normal telekinetic explosion?
No, because 125 will probably blow up this whole mountain.
Okay, fine. I'll do a normal rank 70 telekinetic explosion.
Well, hang on, because I mean, if you don't, it'll also blow up this whole mountain. Nice.
Well, no, everyone in the whole world will fall over dead.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll start off because I still have another spell with a normal telekinetic explosion.
Yeah, I mean, so 70 is like a lot of damage. It's like getting hit by a train. 125 is like you blew up New York City.
Good to know I can blow up New York City
Yeah,
when I need to.
they had it coming. All right, make the roll. Well, wait, you don't make a roll. I make a roll.
Yep.
Telekinetic explosion happens behind them. Sahita moves to dodge, and he does, partially. Kaloo throws up his shield, and it blasts through it. Sahita, thankfully, leaps to the side, and only gets bludgeoned by half that force as he tries to block it for Kaloo. And then, as he flies over top of both of your heads. Benny, you kind of grab hold of the ground as the force of the explosion pushes against you. Sahita passes out. Kaloo gets blasted, and he stumbles as it hits against. He doesn't have a shield up anymore because Doctor Strange blasted him at the end of the round, and he takes part of the damage. He's not looking so hot, but he's still going thanks to that heal.
And then for my second spell...
As they both got greens, by the way, so that was half damage.
Yeah, gotcha. And for my second spell, I'm gonna hit him with another normal telekinesis.
Small telekinesis.
Yeah, this one is...
You can't drop
just
the
35.
ranks on one and not on the other.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I mean, I
Just
guess
remember.
if you want to have said, I mean, we could. Your roll was you didn't need to make a roll, but you could
yeah,
drop.
It was a stun
Yeah, and since this,
explosion and then a lowered rank single attack.
yeah,
like
you could
targeted
you
attack.
could lower the ranks, I guess, and then you. So I guess if you want to drop ranks on one but not increase the damage on the other attack, you could take the lower to hit roll on both attacks. You know what I mean? But you don't need it to hit roll on the telekinetic explosion. So, anyways,
Sure. dropping rings won't be as effective on my second spell, because my second spell's only does 35 damage, so that would boost it up to, like, amazing.
35 would go 1, 2, 3. Amazing, yeah, 50.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna hit him with a normal, regular one. That way I have the most accuracy.
Okay.
And this has been his journey, so if I don't knock him out...
Yeah.
Alright, roll to hit. I got a 19. That's a white on his dodge.
Yeah, I'll spend some karma.
And you got a green on your spectacular, right?
That is...
Psyche?
Oh, it's monstrous. So yeah, I did get a green.
Okay, so boom!
Yeah.
As that first telekinetic explosion comes forward and he stumbles for you, and he looks up and you kind of smile at him as you raise your hand, and another telekinetic blast flies him backwards. And he like looks up and he holds his hand up in the air. And he's like, you're not able to defeat me, Aaron. I told you you weren't good enough. And he has to spend karma to make a psyche roll to stay at 1 hit point.
Well, here we go, Jake. 2 attacks. Sure, we get him. And, yeah, these are punches. Just like, what about me? Okay, the first one's a yellow?
Okay, I got a
No.
green. So
It's
you...
a green.
Is it a green?
Yeah.
Okay, he raises up his hands and he takes the blow. As he pushes it off to the side, he goes, ha, 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 ha. Don't think just because I'm a sorcerer of supreme abilities that you can defeat me so easily.
Alright, I guess I'll drop all the ranks.
No, you
I
you
can't.
didn't, yeah.
Alright, cool. I'm spending karma to at least make this a green.
Okay. I think...
I mean, I got a green, but if he doesn't take damage from it, then, then that's all she wrote.
How much damage do you do?
I do, fantastic 35,
17.
which is,
Yeah.
yeah. half
Do you have
damage
anything
to do it,
else?
Right? I had to have declared dropping ranks.
Yeah.
I'll check to see if there's anything else that I can do. Ricochet, marksman, first aid, trivia, biology, detective, martial arts, D, robotics, computers, host,
Oh yeah, you should have shot your laser gun that you've been carrying around this whole time.
I have a knife. I have an excellent knife.
That's what's keeping him alive. He has body armor.
Yeah.
But wouldn't a knife go through body armor?
Yeah, if it's a material rank or higher, yeah.
Yeah. So I could have used the knife. Could have used the knife. But if we gotta do it, if we gotta end this particular universe, we gotta end this particular universe.
Yeah, I mean, so here, okay. Benny, you rush forward, and, rush forward and punch at him again, and he turns his hands around and he like spins them and he goes boom, pushes one off, it deflects against his shoulder, the other one pushes off to the side and he hits against his ribs, and his robes are padded and protective, with 20 points of protection exactly.
So if I had dropped ranks, then this would have worked.
Yes,
But I didn't.
but you didn't. And so the second blow comes in, and as it strikes against him, he elbows you in the face and pushes you back, and he goes, ha 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 ha, and he brings the magical blast down. And as that happens, you guys look over, and the blast is coming down straight at this portal, and as it strikes against it, there is a surge of magical energy, and you both begin to feel faint as you drop down onto your knees. And everything starts to go black. And you look over, and as you do, you see the figure of Doctor Strange looking over at the two of you, and he says, Aaron, take good care of this world for me. And he jumps into the portal. And as you guys look look over for a second, as you like blink really long, and you're laying on the ground, and Kalu's like, no, as he screams. And you see the portal surge with magical purple energy, greenish energy. And as it does wrap around it, it sucks in on itself, and it pulls Kalu down with it. He's like, no, how dare you, Strange, even in your last moments. As they both disappear.
So they're...
Always drop ranks. Always. Oh well.
I should have just dropped ranks on my explosion. Killed the guy and lost all my karma. Oh well.
Yep. Yeah, I should have used a knife and cut him up.
Yeah, so you all stand there. As you look back, Doctor Strange has thrown himself into the portal and prevented whatever spell that was breaking free breaking free from this area from breaking loose on the Earth. You look around. Sahita is there, laying unconscious. And there's a weird silence.
Man.
Doctor Strange seemingly asked Aaron to carry on his legacy as he sacrificed himself
Yep.
to prevent the end of the world.
Man, all that traveling and I'm still bad at this.
I look at him, I look at Benny, and I say, things could have turned out worse. May I show you something? I'm very glad to see you.
You know what? I gotta ask you. Is that really what Aaron's response to Benny's self-deprecation right after the moment of one of Aaron's closest friends being murdered?
We just saw him jump into the portal. We don't know he's dead.
Yeah. I mean, I know that canonically he's not here to protect Earth anymore, but it's Marvel Comics. Unless they saw a part of the body.
Okay, Aaron slams his fists in anger.
You gotta at least play it up, I guess, then.
Telekinetic anger. He slams his fist, destroying the ground beneath the temple. At shift 125.
The mountain starts to level.
The mountain, okay, maybe not shift 125, but enough where it's like an earthquake is constantly happening. He's like, Doctor Strange, the world is in good hands, and I reach up for the Book of the Vishanti.
As you do that, Doctor Strange's cape that is a bit torn up flies over to you and wraps itself around your shoulders.
Is the Eye of Agamotto there too?
The Eye of Agamotto is not there, but as you think that, you hear three voices in your head, and they say, the search for Sorcerer Supreme shall begin. Within 48 hours, you will be called to participate in a selection.
I think to myself, wow, it's nice to get a warning this time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I've got the Book of the Vishanti in my hands now. Is the other book there too?
Yep, the Darkhold.
I guess I take that too. And I look at Benny and I say, we've lost an incredible wizard today. But it is good to see you, old friend, considering the circumstances of a peculiar dream I had.
Shouldn't have pulled my punches.
You remember it all. Are you just saying that it's a dream because you don't want to reveal that, or?
I'm saying it's a dream because, like, nobody else on Earth needs to know that it was reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, I show Benny the events of what could have been.
And as you kind of get the first glimpses of that, it matches up to a dream you've had where you joined Doctor Strange and he took over the world.
Dr. Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Yep. Did you
Yeah.
know? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wasn't sure if you knew what happened in the fight.
I do. I mean, Benny doesn't know what to say. He kind of just sits. And it's like... I mean, it's like... He did this journey of self-discovery to not become this, and then, you know, still messed up, right? So...
And Aaron sees that on your face and he says, sometimes our best isn't enough, but what matters is that we tried.
Tell that to the doctor. But yeah, I mean, would have been nice to play for the winning team, I guess. Oh well. Do-gooding it is. Even when it's hard, right? Shall we take this guy and get him to Supermax or something? I don't know what Arcane Jail's like.
Doctor
think
Strange
the-
usually imprisoned him.
Hmm?
I said Doctor Strange usually imprisoned him.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a whole bunch of wizards or like several wizards in this location that this guy sort of reported to before he turned?
There's a few, but not very many. I mean, he had a pretty tragic life, as Benny found out. You heard.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
he kind of wakes up a little bit as you guys are kind of discussing these things, and he goes, I suppose it didn't work.
Well, you got Doctor Strange, so it's only a matter of time now.
I didn't want Doctor Strange. I wanted to do something.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's okay.
it's all I can only save. As myself as a hero. You were right, Benny. I am ineffective. Nobody will notice that I'm gone, and so, you know, I was trying to do something. That'll make. I got the chance to really do something that'll make people better.
No more self-pity for today, and I just knock him out. So how are we gonna get a portal to that place that Doctor Strange fell into? And who are we gonna pick for the expedition?
Wasn't a portal. It wasn't a location. It was a massive.
Yeah,
It was a massive spell that was going to suck all the life force out of everybody in the world.
Yeah. So he brought it into a different dimension where it presumably activated.
Aaron, from what you could tell, that could have been the case, but it looked like he was struggling like you guys was having his life force sucked out of him and blocked the spell with his body and by kind of altering the direction of it.
I look Minnie in the eye and I say, Doctor Strange is gone.
Ugh. That's gonna be spelled bad for the world, huh?
The world has had several Sorcerer Supreme, and it will have another. But we lost an incredible man, and a hero, and a teacher, and a friend.
The cloak kind of pats you on the shoulder, rubs your back, Aaron.
I pat it on my shoulder.
And we will cut there.